Hello again, everybody, and here we continue to Souls darkly as this source of fire. First thing we're going to see is just how to get out of the depths. I hope to never be back here, though I know I will just the once, unfortunately. But anyway, once you leave the bonfire, just head down this slime hallway, and this will take you out. You guys have seen this path before. I went through it. This guy was tricky. He waited until I was doing the slow attack and then used a fast attack on me. They're getting smarter now. Okay, so going down this path, you remember this. This is what I used to get up to the other butcher, as well as to Laurentius. And I'm realizing now that maybe I should have put on the rusted iron ring in here, because it would help me move through the water a little bit better. But for most of the level, it's not going to be a big problem. Anyway, this hole in the wall here, we want to climb down through it, and we enter this water-logged area. This dude, oh shoot, I failed to stay far away enough from that dude, and now he's going to take a couple of soul arrows to bring down. There we go. And what else is down here? 2 dogs. So definitely keep your distance, just walk forward slowly while hammering down the target button. And eventually you'll lock onto one of them, and you can take them out real quick, and your life will be a little bit better. So we wade through the water a little bit, and come across this stairway, and we're back up here. This is the platform really close to the beginning of the depths where we fought the butcher. Killed his dog here. And so if you just continue up and out, you will be out of the depths in no time. So skipping ahead, we're back at Firelink Shrine. I'm going to level myself up a little bit. What am I putting in here? Vitality? I haven't done Vitality in a while. We're going to go with that. And then for that couple of seconds, I mess with my bottomless box. And you'll remember that in the Gaping Dragon boss room, I picked up some standard and hard leather armor. So I'm just vetting that armor for myself right now to see if it is beneficial enough to me. This one, I don't know why I didn't put it on. It probably would have been better for me, but I do look cool with the thief's mask. Anyway, I think the rest of my armor is going to be changing here. Yep, hard leather armor definitely gets a benefit. It loses a little bit of fire defense, but I can pick that up again elsewhere. Once again, losing a little bit of fire defense. But black leather boots, I pick up the fire defense again. And fire is going to be useful for the next part of the game. Fire defense and poison resist will be very useful. So here I am now. I am no longer the creature that I used to be. I am now cooler. About 20% cooler. So now I'm just running around here because I've forgotten what I want to do. And here we go. I'm going to talk to this guy.
Well, I see you made it out. Yeah, I made it out safely too. I have my pyromancy of the Great Swamp, so I can usually manage with a bit of care. Oh yeah, by the way, I can share my spells with you. I think you have a knack for it. All you need are the materials. I'll be pleased to help you. Unless you find the magic's unsavory. Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure that, they'll be of some use, some assistance. Here, first take this. A flame from the Great Swamp. Now you're a fully fledged pyromancer. Why, let's get started right now.
This is the guy that we rescued from the depths, Laurentius the Pyromancer. He gives us our Pyromancy Flame, but unfortunately we don't have any Pyromancy spells to go with it, and we can't afford any at the moment. I might pick some up later instead. So we'll worry about that another time.
Pyromancy is the art of casting fire. Produce flame, then channel it, just as our ancestors did. A pyromancer must be in tune with nature herself. My home, the Great Swamp, is an abundant store of nature. You will understand one day. It only takes time. Goodbye then. Be safe, friend. Don't you dare go alone.
Maybe in the future I will pick up a fireball just so it's easier to get past slimes in the depths, but for now I think we're going to do fine with sorcery. There are some enemies and some bosses in the game that are better with pyromancy than any other attack. They're weak to fire, but we'll worry about them as we come across them, or as I look them up to find out what they are. We see that Lautrec has left Firelink Shrine. If you talk to him earlier, he will say that he plans to do so, but this is where he actually does the leaving. Don't worry, we'll be hearing from that guy again in the future, whether we like it or not. We probably won't like it that much, but and some people, they just kill him as soon as they see him because it saves them a bit of trouble later on, but I like to let him live, especially now. Like, we get to see how this plays out. Anyway, I'm standing here in the elevator to the New Londo ruins. This is one of the ways that you can get to Blighttown quickly, is go through the New Londo ruins, then step aside quickly to the Valley of Drakes, and then head into Blighttown. But instead, I'm going to go through the Dark Root Basin, because there are a few things that I want to do, a couple of things that I want to kill, and it shows what you would do if you don't have the Master Key. Because going from the New Londo ruins to the Valley of Drakes this early, it will require the Master Key. You know, in theory, you could, as soon as you get to Firelink Shrine, go down to New Londo, go around and get to Blighttown, but it's probably not a very good idea.
Oh, you again? Me? I've become separated from my lady. I've scoured near and far, but no sight of her. Where could she have gone? My lady, to think I swore to protect you with my life.
So that guy is back from wherever that 4-person mission was going, but he's the only one. Everyone else seems to have not made it out. We will be hearing from them again eventually, but that's not for a little while yet. We need to ring the next spell of awakening, get the Lord thingamajigger, and we need to look at my awesome character here, with my thieves mask and my hard leather armor. I'm looking pretty sweet. I'm looking like a well-kept Gerudo. So we're up to the Undead Parish, because we gotta get to the Darkroot Garden. Plus we have something that we need to give to Andre that I'd completely forgotten about. Gonna go through this rigmarole here, kill these guys, take the elevator and whatnot. I was planning to just skip through this, but talking to Petrus and talking to Andre and all that, no, I thought that would be interesting to look at. My character, I don't know, I don't think my character is particularly stronger with the sword at this point. We can still take down these guys with one shot, but I haven't really been upgrading that much. I have been upgrading dexterity recently, which will give my sword a bit of a boost. And I know, maybe I attack faster than I did before. But no, basically my main aim is just to get my sorcery spells to cast a little bit faster. I don't know how much I'm going to upgrade my dexterity, because they're never going to be like lightning fast as far as I can tell, so at a certain point I'll probably switch back to intelligence, but I don't know when that's going to be. I think I'm just going to play this one by ear and see how it turns out. Anyway, we've made it to this next bonfire here. So we're gonna go down the stairs and talk to everybody's favorite blacksmith, Andre of Astora. What's the dealio, Andre?
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me? Magnificent! You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
So the large ember lets you modify your standard equipment a little bit higher than you were able to before. I think you can get it up to +10 with the large ember. There's also a very large ember somewhere, but I don't know where exactly it is off the top of my head.
I'll be seeing you then. Be careful out there.
In any case, we're not going to be taking a standard upgrade path. We're going to take a magic or enchanted path. And we'll be able to do that as soon as we finish this video. Though I'm going to be doing it in the next video, because I'm doing 2 different Blighttown videos. One of them is me going this way, the easier way, and the other one is the significantly more difficult way, going through the depths, where you see much more of what makes Blighttown so nasty. But for now, I do not want to deal with that headache. I want to wait until I have a good melee weapon, because otherwise I'm pretty sure I'm going to run out of soul arrows taking down some of these folks. Anyhow, we're back in the Darkroot Garden for right now, because I pointed out a couple times while I was walking through the Darkroot Garden a different side path that I never elected to take, because it does not lead us to where we want to go. These guys still take 2 soul arrows. That's kind of a pain. Pillage his body, get some moss clumps. Moss clumps are always really handy to get from these guys, especially the purple ones. We're going to need at least one going through Blighttown. Anyway, this sloping, zigzaggy path here is what takes us into the Darkroot Basin for the very first time. There is 2 main components of the Darkroot Basin, I guess. One of them is this path leading downward that will eventually take us into the Valley of Drakes. Here we are, Darkroot Basin. The other portion of it is filled with horribly painful things, and we're not going to go there yet. We're going to level up a little bit more and come back to it later in the game when we have to. For now, I spy a crystal lizard. I'm going to take him out. 1 great soul arrow should do the trick, but I fired a second one anyway. 2 twinkling titanite, 2 titanite chunks. That's handy. Later in the game, we'll be able to break down those titanite chunks into regular-sized titanite shards. I could use a couple more titanite shards right now, actually, because I think 2 more titanite shards and I'll be able to take my longsword to +5, and after that point we can start upgrading it along the magic path, I believe. I might... Actually, you know what? I might double-check that. Yes, that is the case. You get a regular weapon to +5, and then you take it to Rickert, and you can get it to magic +5. And then, depending on what ember you want to use, you can go to magic +10 or enchanted +5. I'm probably going to go the enchanted route so I can get the better stat bonus from intelligence. With magic, I think the best you can get is a B. With enchanted, you can get an A. Oh, if you go in this direction from right here, you will run into horrible things, crystal golems, and a hydra. And I do not want to deal with any of that right now, so... Instead, I'm just going to go forward towards the Valley of Drakes like I originally planned. Though there is a bit of a something in... Oh, message just appeared. And I seem to be standing around for a second. Read message, night ahead. Thank you for warning me. There is a black knight right in our vicinity, and he's running towards us. Let's get out of here. This is our first halberd black knight that I know of. He drops the Black Knight halberd. On my very first playthrough of Dark Souls, what did I do? I fought this guy, and by amazing luck, he dropped his Black Knight halberd when I killed him, which is great. And right shortly after Anorlando, I decided to put a lot of stuff into my strength and switch to that, and it was incredibly useful throughout the rest of the game. Enemies fell much more quickly than I had planned, because the strength of the Black Knight halberd, its attack power is just enormous. They are for all of the Black Knight weapons, really. They're some of the strongest in the game. I don't know if it's enchantable, but if it were, then, you know, it might just be worth grabbing the strength to wield it, and then enchanting it and going on a complete rampage. Anyhow, this knight has been dispatched, thankfully. Great soul arrows make short work of a lot of enemies around here. They're awesome. I only wish you could carry more of them. Maybe it's possible to buy 2 of them. Like, I know that Griggs, when you go to him, it sort of disappears from his store inventory after you buy one, but it's possible that you could get another one from Big Hat Logan once you find him, and then you could have 40 great soul arrows at the cost of another attunement slot. But that is certainly something that is allowed, is equipping the same spell multiple times if you really like it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, though. There are other spells that I want to get that are going to be really handy. And in this secret tunnel, we have a secret bonfire, which is really nice to run into at this particular point, because the Valley of Drakes can be a bit treacherous if you are foolish and try to take on the Drakes. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. There is a cool reward if you end up killing the Drakes. Besides the souls you get from killing Drakes, you get the red Tearstone ring, which is basically the Dark Souls equivalent of the Clever Rats ring. Whenever your health drops low enough, your strength, your attack power increases dramatically. So, if you're going for a speed run or a strength run, that can be very beneficial to you. But I am not going to be doing that because I don't intend to be at low health particularly often, because I don't think I have a whole lot of defense. So I would rather just stick with the current plan of not getting hurt if I can help it. Anyhow, here we are in the Valley of Drakes. The sign is going to, there we go, the Valley of Drakes. Awesome. Now here's Drake. They're not awesome. They can be a serious pain. Even later on in the game, I find them particularly hard to kill. And he just hooked me with his tail somehow. So yeah, they fire electricity from their mouths, and it does huge amounts of damage, and they fly at you, and they claw at you, and bite at you. And that guy, he looks like he dove off the edge, but I don't think he did. So I quickly run into this cave, get some humanity, and run back out. Just avoiding the drakes as much as possible. Further along the way, though, there is a battle that we are going to take place in against that thing over there, that sort of rotting husk of dragon and such. This is always an amusing enemy for me, just visually, because it looks like, you know, something that died a really long-ass time ago. But nope, turns out this thing is actually alive. Well, it's undead. It's an undead dragon. And you can attack it. It's a mini-boss, and you can kill it. And if you're a sorcerer, it is much easier to kill. You want to stand off to the side, basically. You can... This boss is great because you can be just out of its range and have it still be in your range. So, as you can see here, I'm just firing off my soul arrows while he fruitlessly tries to attack me with his poison breath. Don't stand in the poison breath, you'll get poisoned, and we don't want to get poisoned yet. I never really want to get poisoned, but, you know, it's going to happen. When we go to Blighttown, you're going to get poisoned at least once. We're going to get poisoned several times because we have other things to do. But for now, this guy is just a complete pushover. If you're playing on a regular warrior build or something, you can just continually run over to his hand and then run back. It takes a lot longer, but it's still a pretty safe strategy if you know what you're doing. But yeah, this is the ideal method for taking care of the undead dragon, or really any enemy that cannot move. And he is gone, thankfully. Like I said, any enemy that doesn't move, that you can get close, close enough to, you know, it's a total pushover when you're a sorcerer, because you just soul arrow the thing to death and call it a day. So I've got some souls that I need to use, a couple of nameless soldiers, and a proud knight. How much? The proud knight I think is going to give us 1,000 souls, which is handy. No, 2,000 souls for the proud knight, I'd forgotten. I think they get up to 10 or 20,000 souls later on in the game when you're talking about great heroes. But for now, this is pretty good, considering that we nearly have enough souls to level up again. So after running into the wall for a couple of seconds, I'm back on my way. I've avoided the dangers of the Valley of Drakes. Besides, I guess, you know, narrow cliff ledges, those are still dangerous. But we're nearly out of here. Just cross this bridge. Over on the other side of me, you could probably jump over this gap really quickly if you wanted to, or you could just take this bridge. Either way it works. Later on in the game, you can find the clothing of Witch Beatrice over to the right of me. Witch Beatrice is an NPC that you are able to summon for the Moonlight Butterfly battle, but I did not do that because A, I'm not summoning anybody, and B, I totally forgot. Anyway, over here, this is the door that you need the master key for if you want to go through, and it leads us to the New Londo ruins. And right over there at that hole, that is the elevator to Firelink Shrine. So you go down there, go across to here, open up this door with the master key, and you'll find yourself in the Valley of Drakes. And ready to... you won't be ready to take on Blighttown, but you will be close to Blighttown. So the next thing you do is go into this cave, which is populated with some bothersome enemies. Also, as soon as you enter the cave, things get really dark and scary. The lighting I noticed this several times throughout the game, how the lighting will totally change from one place to another in a total instant, and it always amuses me. Anyway, there are 2 trolls here, but we only want to get the attention of one of them. And the best way to do that is take your sword and break this wooden thingy here. That's close enough to attract the first troll, but not the second one. So then you can fight this guy one-on-one, which is much easier. Soul arrows, it takes a few of those to take him out, and right now I sort of want to hold on to soul arrows, so I'm going to use a combination of soul arrows and backstabs on this guy. Backstabs are extremely effective against these guys, and they're really, really easy to do. You can just wander around a guy randomly and he will fall. There, that guy goes down. That took us a little while. I totally don't notice that he dropped something, but it's not anything really interesting. It is just a dung pie. Though, there is something interesting to be said about dung pies, that when you pick it up and use it, it gives you, what it does is it gives you toxic, and it gives anybody around you toxic as well. And toxic, as I said, is a much more potent form of poison. So, you might wonder why you would want to give yourself that, but in one of Epic Name Bros' videos, by the way, if you're not watching those videos, you should be, he mentions an interview with one of the game's creators, and he talks about dung pies and how a dung pie, the toxic that a dung pie gives you is much less dangerous than the kind of toxic you get from the enemies in Blighttown. And so if you eat a dung pie and just take the small hit, you find yourself immune to the toxic from the enemies in Blighttown, which will kill you dead much faster. So it's sort of a toxic immunity, which is an interesting thing that I never thought of before, but that's a really clever way of playing the game. Anyhow, I'm working on another troll here. Just taking a few... fortunately, my shield can protect me from all damage against this guy, but it will take a huge chunk out of my stamina, so I try to avoid having to do that. Well, no, I don't. What am I talking about? I live on the edge. That guy, and right there, you can see I'm just sort of standing there. At the time, I assumed that that backstab would take him down, and I noticed just at the last second that, holy crap, he's not actually dead. So here we go. Here's a dung pie. And was that the last troll? That was fortunately the last troll. So we're out of there, and we are in hell. This is Blighttown, the one place that everybody hates, for several very good reasons. We start ourselves off by opening this chest here. This chest will give us the key to the New Londo Ruins. So that's the key you need in order to get there from the New Londo Ruins, which we substituted for the Master Key, because the Master Key is amazing. But yeah, if you do not have the Master Key, then this is one of the last things you're going to get as you're climbing out of Blighttown, because you went in from the more difficult side in the depths. So, I think we're going to run into our first enemy here. Is this just gigantic fly thing that breathes fire? Take him out. 2 soul arrows will do the trick. And behind us, we are getting attacked by probably the most annoying enemy in Blighttown. It is the flies. They go down easy, like a sack of potatoes. Just one sword swipe will do it. But, you know, they're just hard buggers to hit. But soul arrows will do the trick pretty nicely if you are far away enough, or if they're standing still, stuck in the floor like they were here. So we keep going down. There are going to be a lot of down ladders in this part of Blighttown. The other end of Blighttown is much more direct forward, but here it's basically like taking a shortcut through Blighttown. Just enter in and then go down as quickly as possible. Here, after this one ladder, you want to go in this direction. For some reason, I went a little bit in this direction as well, because I wasn't entirely sure what my plan was, and this guy gets a little poison on me, and damn, from the back, I get hit with an arrow that puts a whole lot of toxic on me. And that is why we want the spider shield. That toxic is what the spider shield prevents 100% if you're pulling it up. So, we are going to go down that way eventually with the enemies that are firing toxic at us, but first, we are finding a bonfire as fast as frickin' possible. So we're just moving right on down, and here is where people usually get stuck because they don't know where to go. You get on this thing. This thing is an elevator, and you're going to ride it down. This is what gets you down to the floor of Blighttown, which is where the main fire pit is, and that fire pit is going to be a godsend, and you want to get there right away, because if you take too long and you end up dying, it's a long road back. But we're really close right now, so we just proceed forward a bit. And right now we're surrounded by poisonous swamp water. If you stand in the water, you'll start to get poisoned, so don't stand in the water if you don't have to. And unfortunately, we will have to. Anyone who thought that maybe you could go through the poison swamp without getting poisoned, you are clearly not playing the same game the rest of us are playing. And we've been invaded by Man-Eater Mildred. But this is an NPC invade. So it's not really the worst thing in the world. It's that person right there who's carrying an intimidatingly large butcher knife. This person probably could do a lot of damage if she got a hit on you, but she's kind of slow with that thing, so it's not too hard to get behind her and just sword her and backstab her until she dies. Even in our weak-like sorcerer state, it takes her out easy enough. But over there on the horizon, we have a mosquito coming towards us, and as I've said a few times before, the worst thing you can fight in Dark Souls is two things. Because it overwhelms easily. Fortunately, we took that mosquito out with an accidental sideswipe, so Man-Eater Mildred is ours for the eliminating. Does that pretty cool attack right there that just slammed down the butcher knife. And Man-Eater Mildred has been defeated. We pick up a whole mess of souls, nearly 9,000, 10,000 souls. Also a few humanities and her butcher knife. So, that is good. That's one reason to be human while you're wandering through Blighttown, is to do that particular encounter. And here we are. We're finally at the bonfire. And now we feel safe. Give it a quick light, have a seat, and we have enough souls to level up a couple of times, I think. Can I level up twice or only the once? And I choose to do neither. I don't know what I was thinking. I have 20,000 souls right there. I should be using them. But instead, I decide to go this way. This area, this is part of a very tall central pillar that makes up some other portions of Blighttown that we haven't seen yet and we will be seeing later. In any case, at the very bottom of it is this, another dragon scale. We've got a few dragon scales on hand right now. I think we only have the one dragon weapon, though, and I don't think we're ever going to be using it. I'll probably get some more just for the sake of why not. Maybe a sorcerer wants to hold a greatsword. I don't know what he'd be thinking, but sure. So I'll probably be cutting off a few more tails before I'm done, but I don't know how much use we're going to get out of them. Dragon weapons are kind of hard to wield. The exception here would be the Drake sword, which only requires 16 strength to wield, but it has no stat bonuses at all, so it has a fixed amount of damage that it does. So if you're going to be getting that late in the game, it's not a great idea. You're probably better off with the magic weapon that we're going to be making soon. Anyhow, I wait around forever to take out these mosquito guys. And we're heading back upwards just a little bit. Gotta go back up the elevator, and we're in our infinite insanity. We're going to take out those guys that are shooting poison darts at us. Because there is a cool thing there that is worth the horrible danger. So that guy's been taken out. We're gonna let our poison subside a little bit as over across that way, that is our eventual destination, across that poison swamp, which is going to poison us. There's no way we're getting away from that. But for now, we're heading back up. And gotta get on the elevator from the other side, ride it up a little ways. I don't know what I'm looking around for. I think maybe I was sending out an email while I was doing this particular recording. Anyhow, I like the sort of organic way that the elevator moves with the rope stretching and unstretching and all that. So we're back up here. Probably have some mosquitoes to take care of once again. Gonna climb up ladders as fast as we can. Come on, Up, 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 up. I do not want to have to deal with any pain in the butt. There we are. That guy that I just dealt with. This guy I probably shouldn't be attacking. I don't think I need to do anything about that. I think here I've just a little bit forgotten where I am. If I go around... I can attack that guy? Yeah. Just gonna give him a quick soul arrow. This will happen a lot. These mosquito enemies will sort of get stuck in the floor because I guess their point of mass, or whatever I guess you would call it, is lower on their bodies, and so most of the top half of their bodies gets to stick through the floor before the game realizes they're trying to pass through it. Over that... oh, jeez. Another poison dart. Over that way is where I originally went when I got to Blighttown, and there's some cool goodies over there that we're not going to take a look at because this video is going to be long enough as it is. We might check them out in the second part of the Blighttown video, but, you know, there's a whole lot of Blighttown to explore, and all of it wants to kill you, so I can't guarantee this is going to be like a complete Blighttown walkthrough. If you're interested in the really cool stuff, you could check out Epic Name Bros' Blighttown Haters Guide to Blighttown. So, right now I'm moving forward really moving forward really slowly here. So over in this direction we will find the annoying dart blower guys. We take them out with a soul arrow, and sometimes we will get hit by a dart while we're trying to fire a soul arrow, but with my current stats, taking on one dart is okay. I will not be instantly poisoned or instantly toxic. When I first got down here, a single dart could do me in, and that was just... I was just having a jolly old time, as you can imagine. Yep, I just got hit by a dart right there, and so I need to sort of wait it out because I don't want to get hit by a second dart and have to deal with toxic. The last thing I want to do is run back down to the bonfire and then run back up. Fortunately, these guys who I'm killing off right now, they do not respawn. So if I take them out and then go back to the bonfire, I don't have to worry about them again, which is really handy because they are a serious pain. So, thinking about taking out that guy, but nope, I am convinced by way of dart to go and fight another enemy instead. Guy way off in that corner over there. So I'm just gonna wait for my toxic to subside once again, then take a quick run forward, take him out. There's only 2 more of these toxic dart blower guys up here, thankfully, so I'm nearly done with what I'm doing here. And I get hit, of course, so I'm just gonna wait it out. I pick up another blooming purple moss clump. Those blooming moss clumps, they will take care of toxic instantly, but I'm going to save them for when I go through Blighttown the other direction because I'm really not familiar with that path, and I don't want a single random dart to destroy me because I don't know where it's coming from. It's going to be an uncontrolled environment. Welcome to hell. So here we are, the last dart blower thrower, and of course I hit the wall and not him, and now he's sort of running in place, which is weird, but that is my opening. And then I automatically lock onto something on the ground. There are some enemies on the ground that we are going to be dealing with. Pick up a Soul of a Proud Knight, and I took a break, I think, to go to the bathroom. Anyway, we are nearly where we want to be. We've taken all of the dart blowers on this top level, but the top level does not have what we're interested in. We're heading downwards, so we're going to go to this ladder, and then I will almost meet a fiery grave because I don't know what I'm doing. These little blower guys here, they're like weird fire dogs. That guy went down fast enough, fortunately. Oh, nope. That was a bad idea. These guys, they take out a lot of health, and they move really fast. And I can't... Look how fast he moves. I can't sword him, and oh my god. Look at that. I don't even know how I did it, but at some point, I switched from my Estus flasks to a different thing. My orange guidance soapstone, which just makes my life harder than it needs to be. So I'm going to fire off some soul arrows, take out some guys. Ouch. Okay, so I need to heal up again. Gonna sword. I keep switching back. For Pete's sake. I am just... Yep, this is like the pinnacle of terrible right here. Trying to choose between my sword and my catalyst. I can't do that. I keep trying to use my Estus flask, and it turns out that it's just a guidance soapstone the whole time. Well, whatever. I finally took out the the enemies, the fire dogs, the Pikmin enemies. So all of them are dead. Almost all of them are dead. In any case, I'm no longer in mortal danger. And we finally are near the end of our 5-minute death quest. Guess gotta take out a couple more of these dudes. And we're done. So now we claim our spoils. What was this? It is a Firekeeper's soul. So now we can upgrade our Estus Flask to a +3. For the record, an Estus Flask goes all the way up to +7, but I don't think there are 7 Keeper Souls available in the game. Here, I could maybe jump down. I don't know. I don't want to risk it. I have no idea where I land if I decide to fall off there. I may very well die, because it would not be the first time the game has led me directly to a pit. Because that's the kind of game we're talking about. So anyway, we're done with that, so we're going to make for the bonfire real quick like. Race over. Da 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 da. Back out here. Thankfully, we've killed off all the mosquito enemies already. I think the mosquito enemies are really only a problem down when you're closer to the poison swamp and near the elevator. In other parts of Blighttown, I've really only been in that area once, maybe twice, and certainly never as a sorcerer, so I'm not too sure what to expect, though we can expect another mini-boss-like creature and a whole bunch of club-wielding dopes, so it is going to be a little bit of a pain. And right here we're experiencing one thing that Blighttown is known for: lag. On the console versions of the game, the lag can be rather unforgiving, really annoying. So yeah, that's, I don't know, just a whole lot of stuff that needs to be processed, I guess. A whole lot of wooden planks. No big solid objects to worry about. Everything's made of wood and is see-through, so ray tracing calculations are harder. Hey, mysterious guy. But whatever, we're finally back at the bonfire. I got me some souls. I'm gonna level myself up. Finally, the vitality, and what do? I end up going with, what was it? I'm sort of contemplative here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. There, I went with the dexterity. So now we finished with the first interesting part of Blighttown. For now, anyway. If you go along this path, there's really only the two things that I like to look at. So that's one of them. The other one is these mosquitoes, which I always have to kill coming right out of the gate. Take that. But no, oh my gosh, am I really gonna wait for the other 2 mosquitoes too? Nope. I'm smart, I just say forget it. No, I'm not. Darn it, what am I doing? What's wrong with me? Just run away. I don't care about the stupid mosquitoes. What am I thinking? Whatever. We're going to follow this left wall out of here because there are some enemies that we need to kill. If you are a sorcerer, then this is something you definitely want to do, because Blighttown is the most reliable area where you can pick up green titanite shards. And those green shards are what help you level up a magic weapon. Yeah, just a magic weapon. Start off with the 9 green shards, and you'll eventually get yourself to a magic weapon +5. From there, you need to use the blue titanite chunks, which are really hard to come by. And mosquitoes, of course, are really easy to come by. They're everywhere. And I kill them all with my soul arrows, because my soul arrows are amazing. And I use this large soul of a proud knight for 3,000 souls. That's pretty great. Clearly, Oscar was not a proud knight, for he was only a fraction of this. He was slightly proud. So this is a good grinding area. The first time I went through here as a sorcerer, I ended up with about 20 green titanite shards with a single pass, which is amazing. And at the time I thought it was some sort of guaranteed drop, and now I realize what a stupid I was, because you can see here I end up going through the area maybe 3 times, and it was only on the 3rd time that I got any green shards at all. Everyone else dropped either nothing or a large titanite shard, mostly nothing, which is crazy because I've got 12 humanity here. Anyhow, I'm wandering through the poison swamp, and as you'll see, I am now poisoned, and I am not in the slightest bit worried about that. For a couple of reasons. Ow. Okay, so right now I'm a little worried, but whatever, the enemies are now gone, so... Anyway, right now I'm wearing the Ring of the Evil Eye, so I will recover a little bit of health whenever I kill an enemy, and that's going to be pretty often while I'm farming around here. Second of all, look how slow my health drops. It's really slow. This is not anything that I need to be worried about right now. It will take me a very long time to die unless I'm surrounded by horrible enemies, and the enemies around here, while they're annoying, are not particularly horrible. So my chances of dying are very slim. And even if I get close, I have some Estus Flask, so you can actually go a very long time on being poisoned without being in real trouble. It's not as bad as it might seem to somebody who's trying to avoid it. Not that I recommend being poisoned if you can help it, but just going through this part of the swamp, you're going to get poisoned, and it's not going to be a very big deal. And it's going to be worth it because you're going to pick up some cool weapons and some green Titanite shards, unless you're as unlucky as I am. So, one more thing that I probably should mention is that if you're going to be wandering through the swamp, you should put on the rusted iron ring that we picked up in the Undead Asylum. Because right now I'm moving really slow, and that slow movement is totally unnecessary. Oh hey, there's a free green shard there that I didn't realize. But yeah, rusted iron ring, it will let you move through the swamp at a normal speed instead of this slow molasses speed that I'm working with right here. And in my infinite wisdom, I totally forgot that that is an option. So yeah, you're definitely going to want the rusted iron ring. Later on in the game, and actually the area shortly after this, you get something called the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring, which would be even more helpful, because that basically increases the drop rate on everything, which makes it more likely that you'll pick up some green shards. And what's really handy about the green shards is that they don't just drop one. These leeches that we're killing off here, they will drop 5 at once, which is awesome. So if you're taking forever to get any green shards here, don't get discouraged, because when it pays off well. So it's about, I don't know, it averages out to, I guess, the same grinding rate as the large Titanite shards. We'll take out a few more here. They come in rather large packs around this area, and you'll see them in groups of, I think, up to 9 eventually. Yeah, look here, the whole mess of them in the same general area. Also some other things that we can pick up. There's a couple weapons around here that we can use, like, oh, here's another guy. You'll notice, if you could hear my external microphone while I was actually playing this game, you could hear me cursing in frustration because I'm not getting anything. It's driving me up the wall, and now I can't even hit with my soul arrows. So we'll take out that guy. Nobody's dropping anything that I can see. I'm going crazy here. Just killing leeches, nothing is happening. You can see, whenever a leech dies, the flame of the item they drop is mostly covered up by their head, but you'll be able to see a faint glow around them. Sort of like what you can see there. And that guy tries to run away. It's mild success, but he eventually dies. Take out another 2 over there. And, oh, here's a drop. Ew, it's exciting. What isn't it? It's a large Titanite shard. That's not what we need. Ah, for God's sake. Dead end ahead. And we're experiencing some serious slowdown right there. And we pick up this cool item, the Server. I don't know how much strength or dexterity it requires, but it's much like the Ring of the Evil Eye in that it will replenish health from every enemy that you kill. So using both of those together, you can withstand a lot of massive onslaughts, I guess. Though maybe, you know what, probably not. You never want to go up against a huge amount of enemies at once in this game. It always leads to horrible, horrible things, so avoid it if you can help it. And just use these items if you're ever in a poison area, I guess. They're good for grinding. Oh, hey, Dark Spirit, Mr. Thiz has invaded. This is, if you couldn't guess from the name, this is not an NPC. This is a PC, playable character, a player. And What that means is that the person we eventually face is going to be much more scary than Man-Eater Mildred. So I'm just hoping that he can't find me, and that, nope, he found me already. And he's using a fire spell that goes really, really fast. Way faster than mine. Yeah, that didn't go well. Being invaded never goes well. But this guy's a jerk, so I'm going to indict him. And he will eventually be hunted down by a Blade of the Dark Moon. So here I am a little bit further into my grinding. I'm going to level up my dexterity. Fair enough. Am I gonna? Nope. I level up my resistance instead, so I get poisoned a bit more slowly. And over here, this is where I remember to finally put on the rusted iron ring, and then I can run much more smoothly through the water, as you can see here. And I'm nearly dead here, but here's the bonfire anyway, so I'm gonna be just fine. And further on, we skip ahead, so I'm killing off some more guys. This is where I finally get some green Titanite shards. And I've run out of soul arrows. I'm gonna switch to a gray soul arrow. And you can see this slug over here has dropped something. Not a slug, a leech. There we go, 5 green Titanite shards. And I end up getting, if I remember correctly, I picked up 2 batches of 5 green Titanite shards. That gives me 11, which is going to be enough to level up my magic weapon to +5. So we're nearly at the end of this long video. Right here, I am restoring my humanity and kindling this bonfire. This is a good bonfire to kindle because you're going to be losing a lot of health in this general area. Plus, the next boss, if you are not experienced with fighting her, she is a serious pain. Not only does she have a bazillion health, but, well, I don't know, you'll see once I start fighting her. Take out this guy. Anyway, the first time you enter Blighttown, it will not at all be obvious where you're supposed to go in order to fight this boss and ring the second bell of awakening. And I certainly got lost and ended up going very much down the wrong direction, because like I'm sure many other people were, I was totally convinced that there was no way that the game would force me to run through the poison swamp in order to, you know, proceed. I was so young and naive and an idiot. But nope, you gotta run through the poison swamp. There's no avoiding it. So I just dash as fast as I can, which unfortunately isn't fast enough to avoid getting poisoned. But whatever. Here's some messages. They say pyromancy ahead. Once you've upgraded your pyromancy flame enough, another pyromancer will appear there and she will teach you some more advanced techniques. So if you want to go a pyromancy route, that's a good way to go. Anyway, running up this hill here, getting just completely made of spider webs, which is kind of creepy, but it should give you an idea of what we're in for. We have entered Quilog's domain. Or Keylog. In the, I don't know, in the Japanese version it's Keylog, but here it might be Quilog, depending on, based on the dialogue of another character. Anyway, pyromancy, as I was saying before, it does not scale that much with intelligence that I can remember. At least the spells do not. It's sort of fixed depending on the level of your pyromancy flame itself. So I don't know how much benefit you get from really increasing your intelligence a lot. I'm going to have to play around with that a bit more. Here, interestingly, you can summon Man-Eater Mildred after she tried to kill you. It's kind of bizarre, but you'll probably need help against this boss, who we're going to see right here. This lovely young spider woman is the Chaos Witch Quilog, born of a horrible accident involving pyromancy long ago when the first flame was starting to die out. And first rule of Quilog, do not stand in front of Quilog. That is why. you will be doused in lava and it will ruin you. So back off, do quick Estus drink. So yeah, definitely try and stay to the side of Quelaag whenever you can, so that you can just get in some clear shots with your soul arrows. Also stay away because, well, first of all, she can run really fast like that, and she'll swipe at you with her Fury Sword, which slices with fire. If you know the timing, the Fury Sword is not too terrible to dodge, but it takes a few battles before you really get the timing down. In the meantime, though, just stay away from her, keep moving away. You have a lot of room in this boss arena, more than you would expect, so try and make the most of it. As you saw just there, if you manage to get a hit on Quelaag, the woman part, you will do about 1.5 times more damage than you would normally just hitting the spider part. So yep, just strategy is to stay back. Yep, hang back, fire away soul arrows, and whenever she gets close like this, she will either swipe at you with her sword, spew out a little bit of lava, or else do this powerful area of effect attack that's just like an enormous explosion, and stay away from that so you can move away quickly. And it's sort of, I waste her really fast here, which is amazing, so you don't really get to see, but she does have a ton of health compared to other bosses you've fought. It's basically a tank, but our great soul arrows take her down so quickly that it's really not too much of a problem. So we're done with her, we get our 20,000 souls, and we move ourselves on to the second bell, which is right over this way. Some people leaving messages. Are they celebrating? What are these people saying? Lava ahead. Here. Oh, there is definitely lava ahead. There was some lava here, but there's even more lava ahead, as we'll see. Happiness. Lots of happiness. You know what? I'm going to express some happiness right here. I'm going to let everybody know that I did it. It was did, and I was the doer of it. And here we are with this particular lever, and this lever activates the second bell of awakening. And with both bells rung, what on earth is going to happen? And there we are, with both of the bells rung, the entrance to Sen's fortress has been opened, and we will be proceeding there shortly. But in the next video, oh, here we go, somebody said lava ahead, and this is the lava area ahead, the actual factual lava hell I was talking about. For now, the next video is another trip to Blight Town. We go the hard way, so see how a sorcerer handles it next time. See you then.